Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, wait a minute, was I always this short? Maybe your pants suddenly feel a bit longer, or those kitchen shelves seem a little harder to reach. It's subtle at first, but over time, many people notice it. They're shrinking. And no, it's not just your imagination. After 60, it's incredibly common to lose a few centimeters in height. But what's truly surprising is that something as healthy as walking, yes, good old-fashioned walking, could be one of the hidden reasons why. Now, before you panic and toss your walking shoes in the closet, let me explain. Walking is still one of the best exercises you can do at any age. It strengthens the heart, helps with weight control, supports mental health, and improves balance. But here's the catch. Like any movement, if it's done the wrong way, it can slowly wear your body down rather than build it up. And in people over 60, the body is less forgiving about those small mistakes. Those innocent little habits you've had for years, they may be quietly causing posture issues, spinal compression, and even bone loss, all of which can lead to you losing 3, 4, even 5 centimeters over time. That's why today we're going to talk about what not to do when walking after 60. I'll show you the subtle mistakes millions of older adults are making, how those habits contribute to height loss, and most importantly, how to correct them with a few simple, smart adjustments. Because you shouldn't have to shrink just because you're getting older. You deserve to walk tall, literally, for as long as you possibly can. Let's start with something you probably don't even notice anymore. Your posture. I know, everyone talks about posture, but this one really matters, especially when you're walking. Most people think of posture as something you correct when you're standing still, like straightening up while waiting in line or posing for a photo. But walking posture, that's a whole different story. And here's the problem. A lot of older adults tend to lean forward slightly while walking. Sometimes it's because of back pain, sometimes it's habit, and sometimes it's simply a matter of fatigue. But that constant forward tilt, even just a few degrees, puts extra pressure on the lower spine and weakens the muscles that support your back. Over time, this leads to what's known as kyphosis, that hunched, rounded back look that can knock a few centimeters off your height before you even realize it. Now here's where it gets tricky. Most people don't feel any pain from this at first. You just walk the way you've always walked, thinking everything is fine. But meanwhile, your vertebrae are slowly compressing under uneven pressure. And once your spine begins to curve forward, it becomes harder and harder to reverse, unless you catch it early and make a few changes. So what can you do? Start by checking in with yourself the next time you go for a walk. Is your head aligned with your shoulders, or is it jutting out in front of your chest? Are your shoulders relaxed, or are they curled inward, like you're trying to protect yourself from the cold? Are you looking forward or down at the ground? One trick I like to share is this. Imagine there's a string coming from the top of your head, gently pulling you upward, like a puppet on a string. That little visualization alone can help reset your spine and remind your body what good posture feels like in motion. Pair that with walking just a little slower than usual at first, so you can stay aware of your form. You're not in a race. This is about quality, not speed. Now, let's talk about shoes. Believe it or not, your shoes might be sabotaging your spine. Many people over 60 wear sneakers or walking shoes that are comfortable but worn out. Or worse, they wear shoes that are too soft with no real support. The result? Your entire walking pattern gets thrown off, leading to misalignments in your hips, knees, and back. These subtle misalignments might not hurt today, but they slowly shift the way your body carries weight. And if your spine starts compensating for those small changes, it can eventually settle into a curved shape that feels normal, even though it's actually weakening your posture and robbing you of height. Good shoes for walking after 60 should do three things. They should provide firm support in the arch, cushion your heel just enough to absorb shock, and keep your foot aligned, not rolling inward or outward. Don't just grab your old pair and assume they're still doing the job. Check the soles for uneven wear, and if in doubt, visit a store that specializes in footwear for seniors, or even talk to a podiatrist. Trust me, your spine will thank you. The next big mistake is something we all do without thinking: not engaging the core while walking. Now, I'm not saying you need to flex your abs like you're doing crunches the whole time, but a gentle awareness of your belly and back muscles goes a long way. When we walk with a completely relaxed core, our lower back ends up doing more of the work. That leads to overuse, strain, and yes, that forward-leaning posture that contributes to height loss. Just a slight bracing of your stomach muscles, as if you were preparing for someone to poke you in the belly, can help keep your spine upright and supported. Again, this isn't about overexerting. It's about staying mindful of how your body moves and helping it move smarter. All of these changes might sound small: posture, shoes, and core engagement. But they add up fast. In fact, studies have shown that spinal compression and posture-related height loss don't just affect your looks. They can also compress your lungs, reduce oxygen intake, and make you feel more tired during the day. That hunched-over feeling isn't just about height. It's about energy, confidence, and quality of life. And here's the thing: once you become aware of these patterns, you can fix them. You don't need to accept a shrinking frame as just a part of getting older, because it doesn't have to be. Let's keep going. There's something else that often gets overlooked, and it happens to almost everyone who walks regularly, especially on hard surfaces, like pavement, concrete, or tile floors, and that's joint impact. You see, every time your heel hits the ground, there's a shock that travels up through your ankle, knee, hip, and all the way to your spine. For younger people, their muscles and bones absorb that shock more efficiently. But after 60, when joints are stiffer, cartilage wears thinner, and bones aren't as dense as they used to be, your body starts to absorb more of that impact in the wrong places. This repeated stress can slowly compress the spine, especially the lower vertebrae. Think of it like stacking pancakes. If you press down on the top over and over, the stack starts to squish. That's exactly what happens to your spinal discs over time. They're designed to cushion your bones, but constant pressure and poor shock absorption cause them to flatten. Once they do, your height takes a hit, and more importantly, your spine loses some of its natural mobility. The result? That stiff, shorter, and slightly hunched feeling that sneaks up on so many people after 60. But here's some good news. You don't have to avoid hard surfaces completely. You just need to train your body to handle them better. One simple fix is to choose walking paths that include more natural terrain. Parks, grassy trails, or even dirt paths can reduce the pounding your joints take and give your legs and feet more variety in motion. But if you're mostly walking on sidewalks or indoors, then look into cushioned shoe inserts. Something as simple as gel or memory foam padding can make a big difference. Now, let's talk about stride length. This is a mistake almost nobody talks about, but it matters more than you think. Many older adults take shorter, shuffling steps when they walk. And while that might feel safer, it can actually create more problems in the long run. A short stride often means you're not using your hips properly. Instead of letting your legs swing naturally from the hip joint, you compensate by lifting with your knees or ankles. Over time, this weakens the glute and core muscles, puts strain on the lower back, and, you guessed it, contributes to a forward-leaning posture and spine compression. On the flip side, some folks try to walk with purpose and end up overstriding, taking long, exaggerated steps that throw off the body's balance. That puts pressure on the hip flexors and can pull the pelvis forward, causing something called anterior pelvic tilt. Basically, your butt sticks out and your lower spine arches too much. That might not sound so bad until you realize it causes instability in the spine and compresses the vertebrae even more. So, what's the right stride? You want it to feel natural, somewhere between a shuffle and a march. Your foot should land under your body, not way out in front of it. Try walking in front of a mirror or filming yourself for 10 seconds with your phone. Notice where your feet land. Are your toes pointing forward? Are your arms swinging evenly? Are you walking from the hips or just from the knees down? It might feel awkward at first to watch yourself walk, but it's one of the fastest ways to spot habits that could be stealing your height and your strength. Let's not forget about upper body movement. Believe it or not, how you use your arms can influence your spine. Many people, especially seniors, let their arms hang limp or carry bags, canes, or phones that throw off their natural balance. But your arms are meant to counterbalance your legs. When you walk with a gentle, relaxed arm swing, your body moves more rhythmically, your spine stays more upright, and your core stays subtly engaged. A good arm swing doesn't have to be exaggerated, just enough motion to create a natural rhythm. Think of it as gliding rather than stomping. And if you're walking with a cane or holding a bag, try switching sides every few minutes to avoid uneven strain. It may seem like a small detail, but asymmetry in movement is one of the biggest hidden causes of spinal compression. If you always favor one side, your muscles and bones start adapting to that imbalance, and your spine adjusts by curving, tilting, or compensating, all of which add up to height loss over time. Now, if you're someone who walks with a forward head posture, meaning your chin sticks out while you're moving, that's something you'll want to correct too. This posture is incredibly common in people who use phones a lot or have spent years sitting at desks. The problem is that your head isn't light. It weighs as much as a bowling ball. And when it juts forward, it adds enormous stress to the neck and upper spine. Over time, this tech neck posture becomes a habit that pulls everything out of alignment: neck, shoulders, spine, and contributes to the hunched appearance that makes people seem shorter and older. To fix this, try gently tucking your chin as you walk, like you're holding a small orange between your chin and your chest. This small correction helps bring your head back in line with your shoulders and keeps your upper spine supported. It's not about forcing your neck straight, just gently reminding it where home base is. These may sound like a lot of things to think about: posture, shoes, surface, stride, arms, neck. But the truth is, once you begin to walk with awareness, your body starts to remember how to move well. You don't need to walk stiffly or robotically. In fact, the goal is to feel more fluid, more confident, and more upright. It's about retraining your body to move the way it was designed to move, with balance, strength, and grace. The more you move correctly, the less likely you are to suffer the slow, silent collapse that causes people to lose height, mobility, and independence as they age. And the best part? You don't need to add anything new. You just need to adjust what you're already doing. There's still more we need to talk about, though, including a few common daily habits that sneakily worsen posture even outside your walking routine. And there's one mistake almost everyone makes during rest that might be silently undoing all the progress you're making during your walk. A good arm swing doesn't have to be exaggerated. just enough motion to create a natural rhythm. Think of it as gliding rather than stomping. And if you're walking with a cane or holding a bag, try switching sides every few minutes to avoid uneven strain. It may seem like a small detail, but asymmetry in movement is one of the biggest hidden causes of spinal compression. If you always favor one side, your muscles and bones start adapting to that imbalance, and your spine adjusts by curving, tilting, or compensating, all of which add up to height loss over time. Now, if you're someone who walks with a forward head posture, meaning your chin sticks out while you're moving, that's something you'll want to correct, too. This posture is incredibly common in people who use phones a lot or have spent years sitting at desks. The problem is that your head isn't light. It weighs as much as a bowling ball, and when it juts forward, it adds enormous stress to the neck and upper spine. Over time, this tech neck posture becomes a habit that pulls everything out of alignment: neck, shoulders, spine, and contributes to the hunched appearance that makes people seem shorter and older. To fix this, try gently tucking your chin as you walk, like you're holding a small orange between your chin and your chest. This small correction helps bring your head back in line with your shoulders and keeps your upper spine supported. It's not about forcing your neck straight, just gently reminding it where home base is. These may sound like a lot of things to think about: posture, shoes, surface, stride, arms, neck. But the truth is, once you begin to walk with awareness, your body starts to remember how to move well. You don't need to walk stiffly or robotically. In fact, the goal is to feel more fluid, more confident, and more upright. It's about retraining your body to move the way it was designed to move, with balance, strength, and grace. The more you move correctly, the less likely you are to suffer the slow, silent collapse that causes people to lose height, mobility, and independence as they age. And the best part? You don't need to add anything new. You just need to adjust what you're already doing. There's still more we need to talk about, though, including a few common daily habits that sneakily worsen posture even outside your walking routine. And there's one mistake almost everyone makes during rest that might be silently undoing all the progress you're making during your walk, which brings us to something most people don't even associate with walking: sitting. That's right. What you do between walks, especially how you sit, can have a major impact on how your spine holds up when you're on your feet. Let's be honest, after a nice long walk, especially when you're over 60, there's nothing more satisfying than sinking into a comfy chair to rest. And you absolutely should rest. But here's the problem: most chairs don't support the spine properly. And most people don't realize how slouched they really are when they're sitting. You might think you're resting, but what you're actually doing is training your body to stay in that curled, compressed position. Then, when you stand up and start walking again, your muscles and joints are still stuck in that slouch mode. Your walk starts off stiff, your hips don't extend fully, and your shoulders hunch forward without you even noticing. That posture carries over step after step, and day after day, it slowly chips away at your height and your spine's natural curve. So here's a gentle challenge. The next time you sit down, do a little posture check. Are your feet flat on the ground? Are your knees level with your hips? Is your back touching the chair? Or are you curled into a soft cushion with your neck craning forward? If your chair doesn't support you, add a small pillow behind your lower back. And if you're watching TV or reading on a tablet, try raising the screen so you're not looking down for hours at a time. These small adjustments help your spine recover between walks, instead of collapsing into itself. Now let's talk about something deeper: your bones. By the time we reach 60, Our bones naturally start to lose density. That's just a part of aging. But the rate at which it happens, and the way it affects our height, depends on the choices we make every day. If you're walking regularly but not getting the right nutrients, especially calcium, magnesium, and vitamin D, your body may struggle to rebuild the small losses in bone that happen with every step you take. Your spine is made up of tiny bones stacked like building blocks, separated by soft discs. If those bones become weak or brittle, they can compress, crack slightly, or settle into each other. And the scary thing is, you might not feel it happening. This type of silent spinal compression doesn't cause pain in most people, but it does show up on your height chart. Suddenly, you've lost a few centimeters, and your back feels stiff all the time. That's why it's important to think of walking not just as exercise, but as an activity that demands support from the inside. Make sure you're eating enough leafy greens, nuts, dairy, if tolerated, and foods rich in minerals. Get some sunlight each day, even if it's just for 15 minutes, to help your body produce vitamin D naturally. And if your doctor recommends a bone density test, don't skip it. Knowing where you stand gives you power to prevent those tiny fractures that steal your height over time. Another powerful tool that often gets overlooked? Strength training. Now, before you shake your head and say, "That's not for me," hear me out. You don't need a gym. You don't even need dumbbells. Simple bodyweight exercises like standing calf raises, chair squats, or gentle wall push-ups help build the muscles that hold your frame together. And when your muscles are strong, they take some of the load off your spine. Think of it like this. Your skeleton is the frame of a tent. The muscles are the ropes that keep it upright. If those ropes go slack, the frame starts to collapse inward. But if they're firm and steady, the whole structure stands tall. Just adding a few minutes of strength-focused movement a few times a week can dramatically reduce the risk of postural collapse and bone-related height loss. And guess what? It also makes walking easier, smoother, and more enjoyable. Let's bring this all together for a moment. Walking after 60 should absolutely be a part of your life. It's free, it's flexible, and it has the power to transform your health, from your heart to your mind to your mood. But if you do it without thinking, without awareness, and without the right support, it can start working against you instead of for you. The beautiful part is that none of these fixes require you to walk more or harder. They just ask you to walk smarter. Check your posture before you leave the house. Make sure your shoes are working with you, not against you. Walk on soft surfaces when you can. Use your arms. Engage your core. Let your head float tall and proud. Sit with purpose. Nourish your bones. Strengthen your support system. These are tiny adjustments, but they create a massive shift in how your body feels and how it holds itself up over time. And here's what I want you to remember more than anything. Shrinking with age is not inevitable. You are not destined to become hunched over or shorter or weaker just because the calendar keeps turning. Your body is still listening. Every step you take, every time you stand tall, every moment you choose to move with awareness, your body is taking notes. It's adjusting, it's rebuilding, and it's ready to support you for many years to come. So the next time someone tells you they've lost a few centimeters over the years, you can smile and say, "Not me. I'm walking taller than ever."